Okay, so finally, Payal, we have you on the first episode of Sahas, A Journey of Courage. Payal, do you want to introduce yourself to us both professionally and personally before we get deep?
Absolutely. I'm very excited that, we are here launching, our dream project of starting, this series of conversations. So my name is Payal Sawhney, and I'm the founder and executive director of Saahas For Cause, nonprofit organization that I founded almost 5.5 years ago. So that is who I am professionally. I am a professional mental health clinician. I've spent 20 plus years in healthcare, and then I made my move into nonprofit world. So that is who I am. And in my personal life, I am blessed with three beautiful kids. Two of them are in college already, and our youngest is in middle school. Um, I'm married to an amazingly loving husband who is a hepatologist. He's also in service of community and people, children. He's very passionate about children. So we both resonate with each other's work and each other's contributions. So I'm blessed with a lot of family support and encouragement, and which enables all the work that I do through SAHAS.
Tell me a little bit about the fact, Payal, why and when did Sahas came as an ideation to you?
Mhm.
And follow up from that would be, why do you think it's important to tell stories through Sahas?
Mhm. Yeah. I'm a professional social worker by background. I've done my MSW from Karve in India. And so that is what I know how to do. I know how to do social work. I know how to build programs. I know how to organize community. And that's my training. But my biggest ideation happened when I became an immigrant. It started, the ideation process started when I immigrated. So the experience from day one until now, I mean to say, is what is SAHAS. The journey of being an immigrant, the journey of leaving home country and coming to a foreign country like United States, which is so different, which is so away from home. And we miss so many different elements of our life, which we grew up with, our people, our culture, our family, our grandparents, our cousins, our school, everything is missing when we come here. So that is where my idea of starting something or some place where an immigrant like me can come anytime and ask for any kind of help, or even if they don't want help, they can just come. So that was my vision, and probably that is what Sahas is trying to be.
Thank you. And why do you think it's important to do stories of Sahas?
Mhm.
Why we should probably, why this idea of starting a podcast or having conversations of journey of courage are important in today's day and time?
Yeah, very important to have these conversations so that we all can take inspiration from each other. Life is vast and deep. If we listen to each other on how they are dealing with the situation or how they have made the situation into an opportunity, I think we can make our journeys fruitful and happier. And that is why it is so important to bring out these stories and just learn from each other.
So let's dive into your story. Why did you move to US?
It was never my dream. It was never in my bucket list. But I was in love with this guy and I got married to him, and probably that was in his bucket list. So I followed him uh, to help him complete his dream of education, of growing as a professional, and that's the reason why I came to United States.
Do you regret moving to US at some point in time? And if yes, what is that biggest regret or something that leaves like an empty space in your heart and you're like,
Mm.
yeah, you did it for your love of your life, but there is a lot of emptiness that still cannot be fulfilled just because you're not in your homeland.
Yeah, definitely. I would lie if I would say that I have no regrets. I do regret this move tremendously because I missed on a lot in last 25, 26 years. I missed on so many amazing, precious moments that I could have spent with my parents, my grandparents, my family, all the amazing festival moments that I really cherished growing up. I missed them. And I don't think I'm getting them back ever in my lifetime. So that's the biggest regret. I've lost both my grandmothers while I was here, and I was unable to go back. I lost my father while I was here, and I could not say goodbye to him. So, and that's going to be a regret for life. So, yes.
Thank you. Thank you for sharing that. And it takes courage. It takes courage to keep showing up and probably create safe space, not only for yourself, but through Sahas for other people as well. Because a lot of people might just feel um, perhaps it's just me or me, we are alone, but probably Sahas tells we are all together. Okay. So once you took the plunge to come to US, and of course, every day would be a challenge, and we all are trying to acclimatize even today. Let's just say we're not trying to be a version of what United States wants us to be, but we are trying to be a version which is neither Indian nor US. So tell me, what are the challenges you encountered specifically from that point of view when it comes to coming into a new country where you were not really, it was not your career ambition, right? It was your spouse's career ambition. So what challenge you encountered to probably find your ground, find your individuality, and then how did you overcome those challenges?
Um, the first challenge was of language. I was lucky enough that I got my first job opportunity even before I had my social security number in hand. I was just fresh off my master's, and probably everything was so fresh in my mind that I aced the interview. I went to this hospital and they just invited me for a medical social work position. But probably I was so abreast with all my psychiatry things that she said, "Oh, you should come to our psychiatry wing. You're so good with all the diagnoses and everything." So I had the job because I knew my subject matter. But when I started working there, the challenges were of accent. I used to do these morning rounds with the physicians, nurses, and all the multidisciplinary team. And I had to repeat myself multiple times while we were, rounding over our patients. And slowly and eventually it actually started to hurt my self-esteem, and I would hesitate to talk. I would rather just say hoo ha, or just not speak, because I knew that they are going to ask me to repeat. So yeah, so that was my first biggest hurdle, and I tried to pretend after that. I tried to rehearse in the house and then go home to probably put up the American accent, and I failed miserably. I sounded really, really bad. I knew that, but I still kept doing that for some time. And then I said no. It took a lot of courage to decide to say that I'm going to be who I am. And it came after years. And I just said, I'm going to repeat as many times as they're going to ask me, but I'm going to speak the way I speak. And so that was my first biggest challenge of being an immigrant here.
So in summary, you're saying you gathered the courage, you gathered Sahas as we call,
Yeah.
and that's how you showed up every day and probably felt better each day.
Yes.
I'm prompted to ask, did you feel bullied at that point in time? Or did you realize fast forward today that it was just in your mind and you needed just courage? Or was it mix of both? What was your feelings at that point of time and now that you look back?
Yeah. I think it was probably mix of both. I started in New York, and probably I was one of few with the skin tone that I have, the hair color that I have in my team. And it was very easy to, ignore who I was in a meeting room or in lunchroom. So I'm glad that I was really, really young at that time. So really it did not hit me so hard. I was probably not even able to process what was going on at that time. So, um, but now when I think about it, I'm like, oh gosh, this is what was happening. I was there when 9/11 happened. And that was a big change in the whole atmosphere. And there was so much confusion at that time that who's Indian, who's Pakistani, who's Afghani. And, so I had some amazing experiences that I'll remember all my life. And how I had to stand up for myself and say, or give them a geography lesson that, guys, come here, let me tell you what is South Asia, and who's who. Um, so yeah, it was interesting time. And all of these experiences definitely made a difference or gave me courage to do what I am doing with Sahas today.
And what would be your advice to your young self today? Because that's going to be the advice for people who are moving today, right? What should they do when they feel the same lack of courage, when they feel or they realize they are being bullied, when they do not have ignorance as bliss as a blessing? What should they be reminded of? Because I think that is going to be a key takeaway for someone to learn that what sahas or what courage means when you're coming to US.
I would say that be courageous in who you are. Be confident, because you are here for a reason. You're educated, you're smart, you know what you're doing at your job. So just be strong about it, and stand up for yourself, and it will reflect when you are presenting yourself. If you are doubting yourself, or if you are giving in to the pressure, undue pressure, that also will be reflected on you. So prep yourself when you are coming here, and try to be original, try to be who you are. And at the same time, accept and respect, because we are in a foreign land and they have a system here. So we are not going to change, we are not here to change anything, but we are here to accept. But at the same time, don't lose yourself in that acceptance of the system, or understanding the system. Understand the system, work with them, but you don't need to lose yourself to do that.
And it's very easy to actually lose yourself while you're trying to acclimatize.
Mhm.
And I'm prompted to ask, is there a way someone can really get that information for themselves someday and say, okay, now this is going beyond, just getting mixing up or trying to get accepted. This is going beyond probably, or let's just say you're selling yourself short and you're being less confident. Is there a way someone can realize that, uh, either from your, let me say, educational background or your from own personal experience? What would you suggest as one tip when one someone can say, yes, yes, this is going beyond acceptable culturation or acclimatization norms?
Yeah. Um, when you're not happy doing what you're doing, and when you come home a little confused, or you have a weird feeling going in your stomach, that what happened to me today uh, in the hospital while rounding, I don't know if I really like it. And that's when you know that you probably gave in too much. And then process what happened to you today morning, and then prepare yourself for tomorrow morning, and say that I am going to go and round with my team, and I am going to speak up about my analysis of the case, the way I think I analyze the case, and contribute your piece of knowledge so that the patient can be taken care of. And you'll be happy that you did your job well. I'm just probably relaying it in my own experience, in the way of my own experience. But those are few things to keep in mind when you will feel that probably it's not right.
I think the takeaway is respect, accept, but make sure you're happy. Your gut should tell you consistently you're feeling happy.
Yeah.
So, of course, we've talked about a little bit painful things, but let's also go and appreciate what this life or moving to US offers us. So, tell me, why would you say it's also one of your best decisions? Now, fast forward. Of course, no one can replace the pain it gives you just because you cannot be with your loved ones at the times you want. But there are also other aspects that it's given. So, tell me, why would you say moving to US would also be one of your best decisions?
Definitely. As a family, we are very happy today, and we've achieved, uh, everything that we would want to achieve if we were back home. We've achieved at the highest level of licensure that I could get in this country in my profession. I have it. And this country has given us tremendous opportunities to grow and learn. The safety, the freedom that I got to do things that I always would do, even back home. The financial security and the return for the effort, definitely this country gives you. If you work hard, if you are passionate, if you are truthful in whatever you're here to do, you will be rewarded. And that's a guarantee. And I love that about United States of America, that, there is that fairness. So that is what I would like to say that I've achieved.
Okay. We are coming towards the end of the podcast. Is there anything else that you would want to probably relay through this podcast? And of course, we'll talk about Sahas a little bit because I'm sure a lot of people would like to be associated with Sahas just because they resonate to the stories so much. But is there any other message that you would like to give to that child who's just moved for study, or probably someone who's moving here with either family or any new immigrant, or even existing immigrant? Let me not even say new, even the old feel new sometimes. What is one message that you'd like to give to them?
I would like to tell them that you're not alone. You know, there are many people who understand what you're going through, and we all can help each other. We all can guide each other. If I have walked that path before you, I can tell you, the right side of the lane is better than the left side of the lane. We can help our fellow brothers and sisters who are coming, after us, or who are here with us, because acculturation is a big word. We will be acculturating all our life, right? So it's a journey, and we can hold each other's hand and make our journeys happier and smoother. And that is what Sahas does. For Sahas, journey is a big word. And our mission is to hold hand of an immigrant in their journey of acculturation, of assimilation, of settlement in United States of America. That's all that I think I want to say.
I would like to add that one of the ways of acculturation is also, of course, when you need help, one can reach out to Sahas. But another way of acculturation is you help those who are in need. And I think that sounds back to you because you don't feel alone.
Yeah.
Sometimes helping another person actually makes you feel less sad, more happy.
Yeah.
So definitely, like you said, if there is anybody out there who's listening and probably needs to hear, uh, be authentic, be courageous. And if you need a little bit of courage, come to Sahas. There are different programs that the organization does. Payal, please help us with a little bit of overview of what the organization does, how people can get associated. And also, let's also talk about the second aspect, that how can people even help? So there are two sides, how they can ask for help and how they can actually be the one helping as well through this organization.
Absolutely. So Sahas works with South Asian immigrant family, the entire unit. We work with older adults. We help them in their mental health challenges, helping them fight the loneliness and isolation that they feel when they are here, or to help them become part of the system. We have many different programs and projects. We have many wellness groups that we run around Orange County and LA County. Our wellness groups are called Mauj Masti Sehat, and they are really very well attended. A lot of seniors from around the city come and join us weekly. We teach our seniors language. So we not only seniors, but also new immigrants, we teach them spoken English. So our programs are called English Speakogy. It is virtual and it is in person both. We also run citizenship test prep classes because a lot of our seniors and our victims of violence, they fail citizenship tests multiple times for different reasons. So we have curated a curriculum, a 10-week curriculum for them, and we teach them, we help them memorize the questions, we help them be ready for the interview. And we also collaborate with legal organizations to help them complete their forms. And we sometimes are able to also help them do it for much less of the cost. So we also have a program called ePhone Calling, where our volunteers call our seniors or people in need on a weekly basis just to give them company. We work with victims of violence, domestic violence victims. We work with couples. We focus a lot on prevention of domestic violence. We give job preparedness sessions, resume building, many more such things, so that our families are ready to uh, work and live happily here. We also work with youth of South Asian immigrant families. We have a year-long youth program. We also invest a lot of our time in community education. We bring all the information that we learn from Department of Public Health to our community in language, both in print, social media format. So
And
those are the services that we provide.
how can someone use, so of course these are places where someone can, if they need support, let's say they're a senior member, uh, or they're suffering through mental health crisis, or probably are facing difficulty around, getting citizenship or difficulties around that, so they can contact Sahas and Sahas can help them. But how about people helping Sahas so that you grow and you can do more for more people and more states across the United States?
Absolutely. So we have a volunteer program. SAHAS thrives on volunteers. The team can only do this much, but our volunteers really are, they are our ambassadors, and they take our message far and beyond. So there are many volunteering opportunities. If you want to do outreach and education in the community, if you want to come lead a session with our older adults, or if you want to come and interact with the mothers, the new mothers, the young mothers, or the women who are struggling with adjusting to the country, there are many opportunities to come and contribute through your volunteer hours. The other way is, if you want SAHAS to sustain its programs, funds are always needed. Nothing can run without funds. And so that is another way that you can become part of SAHAS, by contributing either in kind or, your precious dollars. You can share your wallet with SAHAS, and we can sustain the work.
And I think it's very important. Every drop counts, as they say, when you make an ocean. Uh, Even if it's like, the least amount, I just feel people should not feel embarrassed, because life is a big circle. What you give comes back to you. So if the story of Sahas has moved you, uh, and you want to contribute, you want to learn more, there would be a scroll after this. Please feel free to contact us. There's a QR code. Your support would go a long way and would help us come with more stories, with more faces. Let's not give all the suspense out on the first recording or the first session itself, but we have a lot of stories that will inspire people and also create a momentum where we all feel one and together. So thank you, Payal, once again for your time and for doing such marvelous thing with Sahas as an organization, and then coming with this thought process of doing series of sharing, journeys of people that would inspire 1 million people.
Thank you so much, Akriti. Thank you for this opportunity, and thank you for leading this initiative on behalf of SAHAS. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much.